Hey guys, it's Madeline. Welcome to my channel for young professionals ready for major career growth. Today, I'm going to share on a topic that a group of friends and I were talking about the other day, and a buddy of mine provided a really valuable lesson on. But first, I want to touch on the importance of networking. I'm going to do a video soon on all of this, the value and importance of it, because I think that there's a common misconception that networking is just seeking out people that you can get things from, especially just asking for jobs or investing or whatever, but it's so much more than that. And this is a prime example of how networking back when I was in grad school, because this particular group of friends are people that I graduated my program with, and we have a WhatsApp chat group and still talk consistently and learn from each other to this day. So networking is about more than just getting jobs. It's about growing as an individual. But look for that video coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. Anyways, we were talking about the appropriateness of sending emails on the weekend, which also touches on work-life balance. Now, I personally generally avoid sending emails on the weekend because I am the kind of person that if I see an email come through, I can't not read it. I can't not reply, or at least even if I don't reply, it's going to be sitting in the back of my head all weekend, and that's just not good work-life balance. So I assume that other people are just like me in that regard and generally try to avoid sending any sort of email on the weekends as good practice. But I am also the kind of person who has to build in control mechanisms to ensure that I don't forget things, because I'm one of the most forgetful people on this planet. But I'm still successful in my career because I have learned certain coping mechanisms to ensure that I don't forget things, especially at random times when I'm not at work. For example, one way that I deal with this forgetfulness is by always keeping a notebook on me at all times, especially at work, but I usually carry mine around with me when I'm not at work as well. And this isn't only good practice for career professionals. If you've ever watched videos on daily habits of financially successful people, usually they say things like habits of billionaires or habits of millionaires or whatever. My personal goal in life isn't to make as much money as I possibly can, but one of the big habits that you'll find in those videos is carrying around a notebook, either to record your interactions and important information that you come across throughout the day, or also to write down big ideas, especially business ideas, next steps, goals, so on and so forth. So writing things down physically is very important, not just keeping notes in your phone or whatever, and especially reviewing them on occasion. I'm not the best at that either, but at least once every few weeks I try and flip back through so that I'm more likely to recall that information in the end when I need it. If you haven't seen my video on the, what's it called? The number one thing I never move around at work without, I will try and link that somewhere so that you can check that out after this video, because it's super important. But back to the topic at hand. One way that I used to avoid forgetting great ideas that would come to me over the weekend, or maybe I accidentally forgot to tell someone something or do something at work, and I was afraid that I would forget yet again come Monday, is that I would loop up an email over the weekend, but I would put in the subject line, "Don't open until Monday, colon," and then maybe or maybe not put a subject after that, and then write whatever I needed to in the email line, and then hope that they would just randomly listen to my advice and not open it until Monday, because it's not important until Monday, but I don't want to forget it. It sounds very self-centered, because it is, but I never realized that before. It's all about me getting the information out so that I don't have to feel guilty about forgetting it again. And it's not about that coworker or employee's experience in the exchange. At the time, I felt like this was far superior to forgetting again, and also the best compromise to no weekend emails. But that buddy of mine that I mentioned called me out, set me straight, and I couldn't be more thankful to him for it, because it has really provided an opportunity for me to learn and grow both as a career woman and especially as a leader in my field. He told me, essentially, that my system was absolutely ridiculous, because you can now set up draft emails to send at a specific time. You can basically write them up, loop them up, ready to go, and set them to send at, say, 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, right before any colleagues would get into the office. It certainly didn't surprise me that we have moved to this point by 2020, but, and I don't know, I consider myself pretty tech savvy, especially at work. Nothing crazy, but I generally know all of the ins and outs of the kind of tech that I use on a daily basis, but this one had completely blown my attention. I just had no idea, so I was very thankful for the advice. And for my career professionals who are already taking on leadership roles in their organizations, he added another golden nugget to the conversation, which is that he pointed out that as a leader himself, as the boss, he is the example for his people, for his staff. So he tells people verbally not to work on weekends, to go home, to recharge, spend time with their families, and to come in refreshed on Mondays. But then if he himself goes against his own advice and his staff sees emails from him on the weekends, then because of the work culture that we have in the US, and I'm sure in other advanced nations as well, his staff are going to begin to assume that they need to be working on the side on the weekends too, to emulate the boss. We definitely have a emulate the boss to become the boss type of culture. And he didn't want that. So even though his particular position does absolutely require that he work an occasional weekend, he makes sure that he loops up his emails on the weekend if they're absolutely necessary to send first thing Monday morning at 7 a.m. so that his actions don't outwardly contradict his words. So just to make this as easy as humanly possible for you guys, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it in, not Google, yes Google, Gmail, because that's what I use at work right now, and also what I use for my personal email. So that's the only one that I really have access to, but I will try and find a quick and easy link to how to do it in Outlook as well, because I know a lot of people use Outlook these days, and I'm sure there's others, but if you don't use either of those two, it's as simple as just Googling how to set emails to send on whatever platform that you're using, or maybe how to schedule emails to send on a later date, so on and so forth. You guys are smart. So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously get in Gmail, and then you're going to look to compose a new message. Type in whatever email address or email addresses for the people that you want to send it to. Obviously, I'm just going to make up one for this case. This is not my actual email address, so please don't send anything to it. Type out the subject line, such as do outs from Friday's meeting. And then for the sake of time, I'm just going to copy and paste a message in here. From there, you're going to look down at the bottom, and next to the send button, there's a little arrow that allows you to schedule your emails. And once you click on that, there are going to be 3 options for you to just automatically send them at those times. But if neither of those 3 times are what you're looking for, you can also pick your date and time, which is what I'm going to do now. So let's say I want to send it first thing Monday morning. That would be the 20th. And then I need to change this right here to 7 a.m. Definitely double check that it is a.m. and not p.m. And then triple check everything. 20th, Monday morning, 7 a.m. I am good to go and schedule send, except since this is a fake email address I sent this to, I'm not actually going to click on that today, but now you know. So I hope that this smaller bit of advice has a huge impact on how you conduct business on the weekends, and maybe even prompt some self-reflection on other ways, other steps that you can take to continue to be the best leader that you can possibly be for your teams. Also, please comment and let me know if you have any other suggestions for how to keep weekends sacred, but also keep business running as usual. I'm sure that there are plenty of other small things that can make a big difference that I haven't thought of or come across yet. And definitely like and subscribe so that your YouTube feed continues to be peppered with career advice, tips, and tricks.